Oh, there we are. Let's get into a daily discussion. All right, good morning, everybody. Hope everyone's doing well. Let's get into a couple things. So if you're hearing this for the first time and you're running an on-premise Exchange server, my first tip to you is stop doing that because you're not paying attention and you're probably not capable of running an on-prem Exchange server. But obviously, we've got some things going on with Microsoft, and they've got some guidance on zero-day vulnerabilities in Microsoft Exchange. So again, kind of tongue-in-cheek, but seriously, why are you running an on-prem Exchange server? If you're in the mid-market or a startup, just go cloud. I mean, it's so much easier. Let somebody else manage the infrastructure. You will never have to deal with things like this. Basically, what's happened, Microsoft's come out. They've identified or been made aware of a vulnerability, a critical one at that is affecting on-prem Exchange servers 2013, 2016, and 2019. Again, online's not affected. So move to Office 365, adopt your cloud Exchange operations, and have a nice and happy system administration, network administration life. vCISO put out some guidance encouraging users to review the information from there like they always do. It's all very good. But, again, it's pretty straightforward stuff. Bad things have been identified. Bad things are taken advantage of. And you are potentially a target because you are running Microsoft Exchange. So let's maybe move away from that. Again, I don't think I can harp on that idea any more than I can. But it does come in with a pretty high criticality. There are exploits. Looks like they are available. So get patching. Patch them if you got them. All right? Thanks. Pretty easy one. That is definitely one of those types of vulnerabilities that if you are running that in your operation, do take it seriously, do stay on top of. You should obviously know if you're running on-prem Exchange. So from an inventory standpoint, this should not be an issue. But again, if this is an issue, give me a call. Let's talk about where your priorities are. Gladly help you out with that. Moving on down, I saw this, obviously the pressure and the move towards adopting some things for MSSPs. I like staying, SideChannel is not an MSSP. We are a consulting firm. Obviously, we have a number of great products out, but we're not a managed security service provider. We have great partners for that. So I always try to keep an eye on kind of how the MSSP market is shifting and what they're looking at, because it seems to be what's working for mid-market companies. So I always like to keep an eye on, again, MSSP operations. What are they looking to do to build into their portfolio? Because they can be very beneficial to, my clients, and it can just be beneficial to, any other mid-market companies or startups that are not my clients. So hopefully this is, pretty interesting for you. But we're seeing a shift and a movement towards adoption of a couple things. Right? Basically, companies trying to scale their operations correctly, right? So be on the lookout for MSSPs that are kind of fly by night, very, very early. They might have a great idea, but they haven't proved out their processes. And that's very important when you want to have customer satisfaction and any other type of, good relationship with your partner, right? So be on the lookout for that. Has that MSSP provided to scalable organizations that are your size or larger or smaller? What does their customer service look like? Do they have customer success managers? How does account management look? How does invoicing work? How does accounts payable work? Is it clean? Is it up to kind of what your standards are as expecting from a service provider? Sure, their technical chops might be phenomenal. Yes, they may have the greatest technology in place, but how do they actually deliver that? How do they follow up when you have questions? How do they follow up when you have concerns about what's been going on? That's very important to look for from an MSSP. Obviously, the tool set that they have in place. Don't just keep using what you have in place and never check in on it, right? Have your CISO or your virtual CISO or whomever's at the helm of your security program continually have an eye on what is your MSSP, your outside service provider, who's ever watching the wire, providing other services such as identity management, microsegmentation, whatever it is. check in on those tool sets, check the efficacy, check out, the team behind them. Have they had a super amount of turnover recently? That could be, a negative impact to the way that, your operations, could be leveraging them in a go forward. Are your contacts still in place for the tools and the solutions that they have? Did you build an incident response plan that had certain contacts at your MSSP in place and part of that? That's great. But have those people changed? Are those contacts still there? Right? So you need to make sure that that's fresh and that people you're depending on and those providers you're depending on, it's still the same cast of characters and it's the same technology. Also be aware of anything that's on a roadmap from your MSSP. Are they shifting from one XDR platform to another? Are they moving from one agent over to a different agent for your EDR? Whatever it is, stay on track with that. Your quarterly business reviews with your MSSP should have that discussion as a set part of that agenda. Every quarter, you're talking about this with your provider. Where are you going as a technology firm? Where are you going as a managed service provider? What does this mean for me as a consumer of this? That's all very, very important to have as an ongoing conversation with your MSSP or your MSP. And then the last thing, look, I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about the virtual CISO space because, obviously SideChannel is in it. But we see a lot of MSSPs that are starting to offer that service. Now, I'll give you a completely unbiased, and I will, this is an unbiased view of that service. You have to ask yourself, who's actually providing it? Is it just a layered on service and someone who's never actually been a CISO, actually been in a directorship, at least a directorship level role, who's now at that MSSP just providing that layered in line item? What are you really getting out of that? We see a lot of MSSPs starting to offer that service to just basically hit SEO and, boost their web presence so that they're found, over others and to kind of round out their portfolio of offerings. But can they actually deliver it? Sure, they're great technologists. Sure, they're a great managed SOC. Sure, they have, great insight into architecture and engineering capabilities. But now they're layering in a virtual CISO. Does your MSSP know how to run a strategy, build a strategy? Do they actually know how to do risk assessments in your organization, any organization? Or is it just another kind of fluff piece that's been added in? And I'll tell you, in the last 3-4 years of running this company, I've been approached by a lot of MSSPs who have raised their head and says, we want to offer this. We know we can't do it. So can we work with you? And it's been a very interesting dance. We don't say yes to everybody, but it's been very insightful to kind of see how these organizations are trying to layer in and offer these services, all the while staying relevant, and then seeing which ones can actually do it and can't. So like any other service, pressure test when you're being proposed a virtual CISO service from an MSSP. I put that in the same bucket of pressure test if you're getting good security capabilities from your MSP. Is your IT provider now getting into the security game? How good are they at it? And have they ever done it before? Or are you the first? You got to start somewhere, I get it. But if you start relying on your security from your IT provider, it kind of sounds like having your CIO be in charge of security. And enterprises know that that's going away. So anyway, some things to think about. Just thought I'd drop some knowledge. Hopefully this was useful and you enjoyed another daily discussion. We are here on Tuesdays and Friday mornings, 9 a.m. Eastern. Enjoy your day, be safe, and I will catch you next time. Take care, everyone.
With the SideChannel vCISO, you get the highest quality cybersecurity expertise for significantly less than the cost of a full-time hire. We match your organization with the perfect SideChannel vCISO for you. Then you work with the vCISO to assess cyber risk, measure program effectiveness, and identify current gaps. Your vCISO develops an actionable, holistic strategy to enhance your organization's security posture from every angle. Your SideChannel vCISO becomes an extension of your team, providing ongoing support and recommendations. Learn more about how a vCISO can help you at SideChannel.com.